Hello, my friends. All right, let's talk about how to manifest. Let's use astrology to really help us up our manifesting game. So, the way that I like to do this is I like to pay attention to the cycles of the moon, and I like to, I guess mimic isn't the right word, but put myself in line with those to help me really be in the right energy for manifesting. So, this is actually simple. You can make this as complicated as you want. But I'm going to keep it very simple for you. I'm going to show you how to do it with the four major cycles of the moon. Now, just so that you know, full disclosure, there are, of the four cycles of the moon, there are other categories in there that you can really dive into and get more specific with if you want to. But I think to start out, keeping it simple is going to actually help you to actually do it and put it into your life. So that's why we're going to start this way. But I really do encourage you to learn more about the moon. I am obsessed with the moon. As of this last year, I love everything to do with it. I have an app on my phone. I've told you about it before. I actually stole it from Jamie Hay Harris because I saw that she had it. But it's called Moon. And I love to check it. Can you see? So it shows you what the moon looks like right now. And then it tells you what kind of moon it is. Can you see? So it says first quarter, 49%, new moon in 21 days, full moon in 7 days. So you can easily check that to see where the moon is and what it's doing right now. All right. You can also, and that was a free app. You can also very easily just Google it. I think it's like timeanddate.com or something that will tell you. You can ask Siri or Alexa or whatever you have, and they'll tell you. So it's very easy to find that information out. So all you need to do is just check it. I check it every day, which is super weird because I already know what it's going to be, but it's almost like checking the weather, even though you listened to the 7-day forecast last night, but you check it again in the morning. Do you do that? I totally do that. So it's just about being in tune and knowing what it is. And after you get used to kind of checking it, it just becomes second nature. It just becomes something that you just know. Okay. So the stages of the moon, the four main stages are new moon. Then we have a waxing moon. Then we have a full moon. Then we have a waning moon. Okay, so a new moon, well, let me back up. Let me tell you what these really mean. So the moon orbits the earth, okay? And so I find this interesting. The same side of the moon is always facing the earth, okay? Because of the way that the gravity and the energy of the moon and the earth work, the same side is like always going around us. It doesn't spin, okay? So that same side is going all the way around us. And depending on the position of the sun in relation to where the moon is, the sun lights up so much of the moon, and then we can see that portion of the moon. So that's why, like, you look outside and you see the moon, like, you see more of it, but that's the part that's lit up. So the part of the moon that's being illuminated by the sun is what dictates the cycle that the moon is currently in. All right. So it's not as if the moon disappears. And I know I'm not telling you stuff that you don't know, but just to reiterate, it's like the moon disappears or, grows and comes back, but we kind of refer to it that way to really understand. But what I really think we shouldn't. I think we should say the part of the moon that is currently illuminated by the sun is, because that is really, symbolic of what's going on energetically for us during that time. Okay, so as the moon is going around and different parts are illuminated, it does so in a cycle. So most everything here on Earth is cyclical, as well as in astrology, right? Like everything follows a cycle, as well as us. So if we can put ourselves in line with those cycles, we're going to be better at manifesting. We're going to be more in the flow to do that. All right, with me so far? So the first thing is the new moon. This is when the least amount of the moon is illuminated by the sun. All right, so we say this is a new moon. And the moon follows like a 28, 29 day cycle as it travels and becomes illuminated more and more and more and less and less and less. Okay, so in this new moon, in this beginning stage, when the least amount is illuminated by the sun, this is the perfect time to decide what you want to manifest, okay? So during a new moon, you want to sit and you want to think about, What is it that I want to manifest? This is the time when you're going to get the most creative ideas coming in. You're going to feel all the stirring. It's like it's wide open to these possibilities of what you could do during this new moon cycle, okay? So this is the time to be creative. This is the time to journal. This is the time to think about what you want for over the next 30 days. What is it that you really want to bring in? Now, it could be something that you've been working on for a year, but you're going to focus on it and you're going to look at it as a new cycle of going for it. Okay, so I try to do a combination of bringing in the stuff that I'm already working on and looking at it as a new cycle of going for this, and bringing in new things at the same time. All right, so I'm still looking at that, but now I'm also going, what else am I bringing in? What other newness here? Okay, now as the moon waxes, which means each day, each cycle, each time it's moving, the sun begins lighting it up more and more and more. So the sun is illuminating the moon more and more and more as it makes its way to full. So as that's happening, we call that a waxing moon. Okay. So, and again, in these places, there's more categories and more specific names, and you can totally educate yourself on that. I think it's smart too. But for these purposes, I want it to be simple so that you have the concept and you can go use it, and then you can put more detail into it later. Okay? Understand with me? Good. Okay. So as the moon is waxing, as the sun is illuminating more and more of the moon as it's traveling around, right? As that's happening, this is the time where you want to be going out and getting stuff, okay? So you want to be hustling for those things that you want. You want to be gathering resources to get the thing that you want. This is a great time to go shopping. This is a great time to start a new book, or to buy a new book, or 10 new books. This is a great time to start a new class. This is a great time to start a new routine or new ritual with something that you're doing. Maybe you want to start meditating every day, and that's what you're going to do to sort of build up towards the thing you're trying to manifest. You want to be more in tune and more calm and peaceful. So you're going to meditate every day. So this is when you're going to go gather those meditations and create those routines and really look at that now. What do you need? What are the resources you need to do this? And what do you need to output to go and get that stuff in? This is what you want to do. This is hustle time, okay? This is go for it. This is put things out there to bring things in, all right? Walk out the door to go to the store and buy your stuff. Put time into different resources that you have. Buy a program, get a book. This is the time to do that. Create a plan, create a system, create a routine. This is when you're doing that as the new moon is now traveling in and is waxing to get up to full moon. Okay? So it's growing and so are you. Okay. Now we get to the full moon stage, and as we hit full moon, this is when you're going to reel in the thing that you were trying to manifest. Now, maybe you got it, okay? Maybe you were trying to manifest a raise at work, and you hustled as the moon was waxing to get that raise, and you got to the full moon, and on the full moon, poof, the raise is there, okay? Watch, stuff will align with it, you'll see. So let's say that's what happened, right? And so you got it. Excellent. You've reeled that in. You've made it happen. As the full moon is approaching, the closer and closer it's getting, the more you're confronting this and bringing it to a head and reeling in the thing that you're trying to get. Maybe you didn't get it yet. Maybe you're trying to manifest the love of your life, okay? And you haven't yet. But you're going to look at what did that process during the waxing moon, during my hustle, during me going out and collecting my resources, what did that bring into me? This is a step a lot of people miss, and it is of the utmost importance to sit at a full moon and look at what you got. What did you bring in? This is a time to look at that and to appreciate it and to illuminate it. Hold it into the light. Sometimes we get so uber focused on a goal or this one thing that we miss what we brought into our life as a result, okay? So maybe you were hustling for that raise, and let's say you didn't get it yet. Okay, and you hustled and you put that out there. But what you did get was the attention of one of your bosses. And from that attention, you actually got a promotion. Okay, you actually got shifted over here, so you did bring in something. Next year or next full moon, you get it. But during this waxing moon, this effort that you put out, when you got to the full moon, you looked back and you're like, you know what? I did get stuff. I built some great connections on my way to doing this. I really defined what I wanted better. I lifted up my power because I saw that I did it. I got the attention of this boss. I got offered a new job, right? So this is when you're going to look at that and really bring into illumination that whole process, okay? You're also going to look at the way you're feeling, okay? So whether you did or you didn't reel in that thing that you're manifesting or those things that you're manifesting, you got to just really be like, how do I feel about this? And just own it. Bring it all into the light and really look at it. This is a time for analyzing. This is a time for looking around, for feeling. At this time, you're going to feel very expansive and your mind is going to feel very busy, okay? Because everything that you've been trying to hold back, these blocks that you've got, that you're trying not to look at, all this shadowy stuff is going to surface for you, and it can feel overwhelming and it can feel a little tiring. That's okay. It's part of the process. Okay. Now the next phase that the moon goes into after it's full is waning. Okay. So what that means is after the full moon, so we had the new moon, not very light, barely any light shining on the moon. Then it starts to increase, and we get to full moon. It's fully lit up. And so now what's going to happen is it's going to decrease in light and go all the way back down to a new moon without any light shining on it. Okay? So as that's happening, that's called waning. So as it's waning, this is a time for you to release. So remember when the moon was waxing and you were taking and you were gathering resources and you were pulling stuff in and you were hustling and you were outputting and you were going out and getting what you needed? Now, as the moon is waning, you're going to release. So you're going to get rid of what you don't need anymore. You're going to say, this isn't serving me and that's not serving me. And this resource that I gathered, this didn't work. So let me get rid of that. And you're going to start releasing. Like go around your house during this time and clean out the clutter. This is perfect timing to be in tune with this. Okay. So be looking. All right. And so you've got this beautiful time period to release. And if things are coming up that you're feeling drawn to pulling in, write them down in a notebook. And as soon as the moon hits new and goes back to waxing, bring them in then. You'll have a much better experience because energetically you'll be in line with the correct cycle and you'll be pulling it in a better place. Watch what happens with when things go on sale. Watch what happens when prices increase, okay? If you go with the cycles, you'll notice that people start naturally shifting around their prices and their offers and their sales in line with these cycles, all right? Because that's how we work. So if you pay attention to that and you use that to your advantage, ding, 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 very exciting and good. And you're going to do better. The things that come into you are going to work. They're going to be more effective because you're in line with it. And you're going to go in line with your own natural cycle. Okay? Because if you're trying to gather all these resources while the moon is waning and your whole body, your body is responding to that energy, is trying to release and you're not allowing it and you're trying to gather, you're going to end up out of ease, dis-ease. You're going to end up feeling like an energetic mess. You're going to end up sick. You're just going to be out of alignment, out of the flow, and you're going to feel that. Do you know what that feels like? Think about it. I bet you felt that before. So if you can take this time period to now release, now you're in line with that. And the releasing is just as important as the grabbing of the resources, because as the new moon is now approaching, now you're going to start to say, okay, let me start a new cycle of going for this thing that I was going for before. And let me add in these other new things. And I appreciate the things I got before, in the full moon, what I reeled in. Appreciating what I released, and now I'm setting a new track, okay? So you have to release those things to make space energetically, if nothing else, to bring in the resources again as you start your new cycle, okay? So then the new moon approaches, you're done with your release, and you start over, okay? You start gathering. So this is what you want to be paying attention to because, again, it's simple. There's 4 steps to remember. It's easy, okay? We go up, we go down, and we go around. So in the new moon, you are setting your intention. What is it that you want? What do I want to manifest? If it's something you've already been manifesting, I'm entering a new cycle of manifesting this. And what's going to be different or adjusted or what's my tactic for going after it? What's something new I want to manifest? What's something I want to up level or gain more of or do differently? Or what's something I don't have that I want? Big things, little things, everything in between. A great thing to do at a new moon is to use fire, okay? Burn stuff. So write your list of new moon wishes and burn a copy, all right? You can burn the whole thing, but I don't know about you. That makes me feel nervous for some very odd reason. Like I won't remember it. So like I keep a copy and I burn a copy. Like this is my copy and this is the one I'm releasing off to the universe, okay? So fire is very connected to the new moon cycle. So that's what you want to do there. Now, it starts to wax, right? And it starts to build and more light is shining. The light is building as you're going out and gathering your resources. Hustle, go get stuff, go reel stuff in, put stuff out, output so that you can bring in what you want. Gather the resources you need to get that thing that you want. Hustle for it, all right? During this time, you're out, you're going. All right. Now the full moon hits and you're going, okay, it's time for the full moon. Take that list, bury it in the ground. Okay. You just get rid of it. Bury something in the ground if you don't feel comfortable, like burying an actual list. You can bury a rock that you feel like represents it, or a crystal or a gem or a plant, or you can plant a seed at this time, whatever you want to do. But in order to release all of this stuff and to begin that process, you want to give it back to the earth. Okay. So in the new moon, you release it up, and in the full moon, you put it back down. Okay, so now you're appreciating all the things that you gained in that full moon, and you're looking and you're illuminating the whole process to see what you learned. What did you reel in? What did you not reel in? What can you do differently next time? And really look at that and how do you feel? Now the moon starts to wane and you're releasing, okay? What didn't work? What don't I need emotionally? What blocks can I get rid of? What ego tricks can I let go of? What actual physical stuff can I get rid of? What energy can I release? You're going to do that as the moon wanes, okay? And then the new moon's going to start again, and you're going to write your new list, and you're going to burn it in the fire, right? And that this keeps going. And because this is like a 29-day cycle, it happens quickly. So you're not going to get stuck in any of the cycles. And it's going to be dictated, and let me just tell you, it feels beautiful to be in that flow. So check it, get the app that I told you, it's free. I'll show it to you again. It's called Moon. This is what it looks like. And it shows you that, and then it gives you all of the information on the moon. It tells you where you are. It's fantastic. But you can also just Google it, ask Siri, ask Alexa. It doesn't matter. You can do all of those things just so that you know that, okay? Now, yes, there are other stages to the moon that are broken down in those categories that I told you. In the waxing and the waning, there's like a gibbous moon, a balsamic moon. There's all these other pieces. If this interests you, go learn that too. But start just with keeping it simple. All those pieces do is just give you more specific things. Like more specifically, you want to gather this resource. More specifically, you want to release emotions now, and then ties to family here, and blocks here. And so if you want to go do that, do that. But for me, I know and have a working knowledge of that stuff, but I don't go so fully into that. Instead, I just pay attention to new moon, waxing, full moon, waning, and just be in line with that process. Now, you'll also find that once you start doing that more, your body will, especially if you're a woman, will become more in line with this process as well. So see what it does. See, when does your body choose to have its monthly cycle, right? Like where in there does that fall? Okay. So all of that stuff can help you. Use that to go manifest and report back to me. I want to hear how it goes and how you feel. Okay. I would love to know that. So right now, the moon cycle that we're in, we have a full moon in 7 days. Okay. So we are waxing. So this is the time to hustle. Do you feel that? Are you feeling that hustle energy to go out there and to get what you want and to do it? Are you doing that? Are you building and making, or are you releasing? What can you do to shift and get yourself back more in line? You have 7 more days in this cycle, and then you're going to start releasing after you hold that in and you really illuminate the whole process and give it back and start again. I really think that when you're trying to manifest something, especially if it's something big that you're not going to manifest probably in just one cycle, that if you see it as starting a new cycle, it's really, really incredibly helpful. It really is. It gives you this like new lease on it every time you're in this. Okay. Jamie says she loves all this, girl. I know you love moon stuff. That's Jamie's who I found that free app from. I copied her. Stacey says, this is awesome. Good. I'm glad that you like that. Hey, Christine, she says, feeling overwhelmed and run down. This is so interesting. Yes, get yourself in line with the energy of the moon and you will feel much more in the flow and you won't be fighting against it all the time. Much, much more helpful, especially for women. Dudes that are watching, I think Matt's watching, David, when you watch this, you need to be in line with this too. Your body is also cyclical, not quite as cyclical as women's, but you do need to know that and understand this. But especially if you're a woman, to be at optimal health and energy, you want to line yourself up with the moon. And even more especially if you're empathic. Oh, David is here. Good. If you're an empathic person, you need to be understanding this, okay? If you run a business, you need to know this because you need to know when people are out there hustling and gathering resources and when they're releasing because you want your business to be reflecting that. You want to be speaking to them in that way, all right? You want to be doing that, but you also want to understand that your clients are doing that as well. You want to help them into that cycle and you want to respect it for them. And you want to pay attention when one of them isn't in line with that because that's going to tell you something too, okay? If you're a mother, or a father, or just some kind of a caretaker, you need to know this as well because you need to know when you're gathering for these people and when you're helping them release, all right? So however you want to do that, you want to be looking at this stuff in whatever way. If you're a healer, you need to understand these cycles because you need to know what your people need. Whether or not they're vocalizing it to you during the waxing moon, they need to be hustling and going for it, and during the waning moon, they need to release. Your calendar is going to be more full if you're a healer that helps people release, like through Reiki or some kind of meditation or any kind of energy work, massage, any of that stuff. Your calendar is going to be more full during a waning moon than it is during a waxing moon because people need to release. So you want to be ready for that and you want to be in line with that yourself and make sure that you're also releasing. Okay? So that's the skinny on it, guys. Go out, use it, report back, tell me how it feels. Download that free app or just Google it and just keep track of what the moon's doing and where it is. And it will really have an awesome positive effect on your manifesting, on your health, on your body, on your energy, on your life. All right? All right. Go have an awesome night, guys. Talk to you soon. Bye.